I'm a bird, mother. I'm a bird.
Hoyoverse just destroyed English voice actors. Would this be like the end of the saga, or is it like the climax of the saga, but not the end of it? I think it's gonna be just a climax.
Guys, we've got another update in the VA situation, and this one is definitely a pretty big, pretty crazy one. So we're here on HoyoLab version 1.7, bury your tears for the past update details. And in this update, it seems like a number of voice actors for Zenless Zone Zero, that of course being a Hoyoverse game, number of these VAs have been replaced.
Honestly, I don't even play ZZZ with English. No, I played at the beginning when I first started playing Zen Zone. I played it in English for about like a few days, like 2-3 days, and switched it over to Japanese.
Interestingly enough, taking a look at those VAs, it seems like they were indeed promoting the strike work refusal thing. I'm not saying that is definitively why they got replaced. I'm simply saying that that is additional context. But before we talk about that, guys, we've got to address the controversy that's going on right here on this channel. The feet comment controversy. Because yesterday I got this comment that says, like to make Hirohei post his IRL femboy feet. Comment.
What? Like to make Hirohei post his IRL femboy feet. Comment to make Hirohei post his VTuber feet.
What?
Him switching to a VTuber model was a mistake.
Yo, this person's down bad for feet.
Welcome to the spiral of VTuber watchers. They will always ask you for feet pictures.
To make Hirohei post his VTuber feet. And I was like, bro, really posted this 3 days in a row. Cook him, chat. But you know what happened? You guys know what happened? You didn't cook him. You freaking were like, a lot of you guys were liking his comment. And were like supporting his comment. What kind of backup is that? Look at this. I'm doing my part. Let him cook. Someone go make it, please. He has a point.
Wait, it's not working? The video is not even moving? Okay, no, it's moving now. You know what? You kind of had to be there to understand what happened. It's really funny how the second someone gets into the VTuber stuff, it's right away feet.
And if you're a guy, instant femboy.
Not even just if you're a guy. You're a girl with a slight masculine voice, femboy.
You're right, this isn't going well for you, is it? I will fully admit that, yeah, it didn't really go so well, but what I'm not doing is deleting comments. So let me address that right now and get this controversy out of the way. Because look at this, if you sort by top comments, it says replies 53. But then if you sort by newest first, it goes all the way up to 72 replies. So some people may think like they left a comment and they can't see it, and I'm like hiding the comment or something, but no, it's like something weird with the YouTube guys.
Oh yeah,
53.
No. That's been happening for a while now too. I have to constantly sort through newest comments. I don't even see the comments in my community. Like when I go onto YouTube Studio, when I go to community where all the comments are usually at, I don't even see all of them there. I have to go onto the video and sort by newest to be able to see all of the comments.
Yeah.
It's really weird. I don't know what YouTube did.
72. I am completely innocent. That said, I guess you guys have spoken and I'll see what I can do about the VTuber feet thing, but like, what kind of artist could I even find to do something like that? Like, that probably
like 90% of VTuber artists.
doesn't even exist. But if by any chance it is possible, I will post not on my main account, not on main, definitely not on main, but I made a new VTuber Twitter account, so consider following that for just like general stuff, like VTuber stuff, and then
he's becoming like a full-blown VTuber now.
And maybe also that other stuff that people were talking about. Anyways, on to the main topic. Oh, I did forget to mention, I'll have that in the pinned comment for today. Now, really on to the main topic. So back over on HoyoLab, check this part out, specifically for patch 1.7, adjustments and optimizations, where they say, changes the English voice actors for agents Kalinda, Grace, and Rena, and replaces the corresponding voice lines. We can see some duality in the immediate responses. For example, this user saying, return all the original VAs and apologize. Collective action is a fundamental human right. Response is reading, you could still delete this. And the VAs are at fault. They decided not to work, so
yeah.
Hoyoverse has given these...
Like, what is Hoyoverse supposed to do? Like, the strike has been going on for 6 months now. Do you want to get updates on the game, or do you want to continue entertaining the honestly ridiculous self-indulgence with striking a company that has nothing to do with SAG-AFTRA, with the union contracts? Like, it's literally a non-union company that needs their VAs to work to push out content.
People so much time to either present them agreeable terms that don't involve screwing over the non-union talent that are also working on their games, or to simply return to work. So let's check this out. As mentioned, get some more information on the involvement that these people may or may not have with the strike / collective work refusal against Hoyoverse. So here's the VA for Kalota. And just scrolling a little bit, we can see, let's see here, gaming awards. Okay, that's not the SAG-AFTRA thing. Scrolling a little bit more, we can see that Katie Cofield here retweeted Koi Dao saying, "This is not a union actor versus non-union actor conflict. The goal of the strike is to ensure that this craft isn't lost to AI. We've got a common goal, which is why so many non-union actors are holding the line alongside their union castmates, despite having no obligation to do so."
Okay, you could argue that. But the problem with this, even with this argument, even if you look at it at a very surface level, it got out of hand the second the union actors decided to go after a non-union voice actor. This is when the public started getting involved and started voicing their opinions. Because the second they started acting this way, all bets were off all over the internet. People just started clowning on them.
Well, I wouldn't say so many. It seems like some have. The obligation is, as these people have already made very clear, a social obligation. If they go against the strike and these other VAs, then they're going to get harassed on Twitter or potentially blacklisted, as we saw Shara Kirby talking about.
Also, didn't the Paimon VA kept on saying that union voice actors from SAG-AFTRA, there's nothing stopping them from continuing work on non-union games, which is Zenless Zone Zero, Genshin. So they keep on contradicting themselves every step they go. First, they say yes, they don't have to stop working when it's a non-union company, but at the same time, they're like, we're gonna strike it because we're union voice actors. And a lot of them also were saying that, oh, we cannot work because of the strike. But then they would say, oh, we're working by the strike. There's a lot of contradiction happening, and it's just so ridiculous. Imagine skipping a VA role because of a strike. Well, being on the SAG-AFTRA already reduces your possibility of landing a job by 80%. My honest opinion, my honest unprofessional opinion, I think SAG-AFTRA definitely is trying to monopolize the whole VA in North America.
Also retweeted by Katie Cofield, of course. "Guys, if a non-union game were to flip union, no non-union actors would not be fired." More details in quoted thread, but basically, non-union actors can work on union video games. While, yes, of course, misinformation can spread on Reddit, as it can anywhere, the fact is...
And I do remember specifically, again, it's the Paimon voice actress. She keeps on recording these videos and posting on TikTok. Even in that video, she contradicted herself so many times.
Is a lot of these VAs have also been spreading misinformation, and much of it intentionally misleading and manipulative. As for the non-union actor part, well, this goes back to what we were discussing from Joe Zeech's video, where these non-union actors would essentially have to beg SAG not to terminate them and replace them with union talent. And as we've discussed many times, and as you guys know, based off the statements made by SAG executives, based on the policies on their own website, and the disparaging remarks of many of their members on social media, we can't reasonably expect that they're going to treat the non-union actors well. As a matter of fact, the reasonable conclusion is the inverse, that they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Katie Cofield had also retweeted some other damage control stuff. As you can see, this is all from like back on March 19th, March 14th, and also the ones we read were like March 26th and respectively also March 26th. This is all stuff that has been refuted time and time again since then. This is like a month later, just giving you context as mentioned as to what you might consider their involvement or their stance, right? This sort of thing. On to the next VA, that being Chelsea Kwoka, VA for Grace Howard in Zenless Zone Zero and Shanna in Genshin Impact. Although it seems like that may no longer be the case. We seem to know that already for ZZZ, but we'll see what happens with Genshin. And scrolling, let's see if there's anything about the SAG-AFTRA stuff. Oh my gosh. This one was especially interesting. This is the one where Inaris, another VA, had made a tweet that is no longer available because I think she deleted it. Pretty sure that's what happened. But
Let me guess. There was too much backlash that was happening.
that was the one which, you know what, I'll just go find it and like edit together. Give me 1 second. There we go. This one, where Inaris said, "Hey, Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, ZZZEN. We English VAs would love to get back to work. I know the fans miss hearing their favorite Karas, and we miss voicing them. Please negotiate with SAG-AFTRA and sign the interim agreement to guarantee AI protections for us." Which,
Imagine thinking you're irreplaceable. So, imagine thinking you're irreplaceable to a company like Hoyoverse. That is wild.
Look how fast application will be sent out when they say we have a job opening. For
Oh
voice
yeah,
actor.
there's so many people who would love to voice act in Genshin or Zen and Lifu.
Or Honkai Impact.
People would murder and go to war to be able to voice act in any of the Hoyoverse games.
100%.
It would be one of the biggest footnotes, especially for smaller starting up voice actors, to be able to securely have like credential to continue voice acting in any big major projects. So them thinking that they're irreplaceable just because they were the original voice actor, it's not factual and it's not accurate.
the official Twitter account for SAG-AFTRA said what Inaris said. Genshin Impact Honkai Star Rail ZZN will make it easy for you. Here's a link to our interactive video game media agreements. Let's talk soon. Wink. This, of course, being especially interesting given the information that
That is just so unprofessional. Let's talk soon, wink. I would feel like I want to disappear like in the depths of the earth if I would send that and realize it's to the higher ups. I would just want to disappear. I would want the earth to swallow me whole.
was provided from Joe Zeja's video, in which it sounds like the collective work refusal from these VAs is not an official strike through SAG-AFTRA, but then here was SAG-AFTRA trying to put some public social pressure on Hoyoverse to sign that agreement. And let me point something else out here. This is something I probably should have mentioned in prior videos. Totally my bad for not doing this. But when you click that link, it takes you to a page on SAG-AFTRA that leads you to 2 other links that show agreements. But those agreements are sample agreements. So I really don't think it works like that. I don't think a Hoyoverse, can just like click that and like sign it. Oh, there you go. It's so easy. Like, no, first of all, there's
Yeah.
sample agreements. And second, we don't know that those are the actual agreements being presented to Hoyoverse either, because again, it's
Yeah.
all just samples. This is just another example of how to the public, that group of VAs and SAG-AFTRA are trying to make it look like, oh, it's so easy.
Look, SAG doesn't have to actually disclose their actual contract, right?
Yeah.
We're not entitled, the public is not entitled to see the actual contract. If someone leaks, that's another thing, but we cannot also demand. Now, do I believe that in that contract it's like the complete honesty and how the contract actually looks like? 100% not.
Yeah.
No one would be dumb enough to add their fine print in a public contract, and every contract has a fine print.
We're just barely asking for anything, just sign this, Hoyoverse. It's so simple. But in reality, it really doesn't seem to be as simple as they're trying to let on to the public. Okay, so
course.
we've taken a look at 2 of the VA's Twitter accounts who were seemingly let go from Hoyoverse's Zenless Zone 0. We've got 1 more to take a look at, but before we do, on the note that I just mentioned regarding the whole SAG-AFTRA thing, we've actually got to take a look over on Blue Sky because Little Kribo made a post that I think would make for a perfect segue real quick. Earlier today, Little Kribo had
This guy again. I've seen so many people literally bring up the question in my comments on Twitter everywhere. Why is Little Karibu even self-inserting himself into this whole situation with specifically Genshin?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
this to say. Actors saying, quote, this strike is about AI protections, unquote, never meant that it was exclusively about that. Fans
You see the backtracking already happening, right?
Yeah.
seem to have decided they were lied to regardless. Wow, what a change of the tune here, huh? yes, indeed, a lot of these VAs were saying that the strike is just about AI protections, and the ones that were not outright saying it were certainly implying it. But since the fandoms have been looking into all this stuff more thoroughly, and we've found that we've been getting misled,
This dude honestly made it so much worse for the strike, single-handedly.
Yo, I swear, what if? What if this is like some weird, demented psyop?
I don't think so. I don't think it's a psyop. I think people are like these specific people are genuinely that entitled and that full of themselves. Like, call me crazy, but from what I've seen lately, how people think of themselves and how they're acting publicly towards other people, I genuinely think people are that full of themselves. Isn't Little Karibo a parody VA? He is parody VA. Yes, you're right, Darth.
oh, now suddenly they're saying, guys, the strike was never just about AI protections. It was never exclusively about that. Yeah, okay, bro. But it's really funny how little Kribo doesn't seem to be directly involved with this situation. He just continues to interject himself into it over and over again. And it's like consistently, in my opinion at least, making it worse for that side.
Oh yeah, no,
Like,
he's 100% is making it worse for a lot of people.
Keep going, bro. Keep going.
you gotta wonder, is bro a sleeper cell? Is this just like, is this some like 4D chess he's trying to pull here or something for Hoyoverse? Is this like a secret Hoyoverse
Two
agent?
steps ahead.
Yo, this is like some 4 steps ahead.
he took Nikakata Avocado to literal.
I'm kidding. Surely not the case, but it is pretty funny. I think I saw some people saying the same thing about Paimon's VA too, Karina. Like, you gotta wonder about these people sometimes, man. That's how bad their points are. Okay, so we had previously left off on the Twitter account for Chelsea Cuoca, the VA or previous VA for Grace Howard, and how she was retweeting SAG-AFTRA's like signal boosting of Anaris's now deleted tweet, trying to get Hoyoverse to making a public tweet at Hoyoverse to try and get them to sign this agreement. Okay, there we go. Better phrasing. And also had retweeted Koi Dao, we can see here. Once again, something else from like back in late March that had been thoroughly refuted by the fandoms. So we've seen how Katie Cofield was retweeting this sort of stuff. Chelsea Cuoca was retweeting this sort of stuff. And now that takes us over to Crystal Lee, the third VA from the patch notes for ZZZ, who seems to be getting replaced. We can see also the VA for Clorand. Once again, my bad for the mispronunciation. Please correct me in the comments. Hopefully I can remember it though. And let's see if there's any sort of similar stuff going on with this account. Well, yes, indeed. There is a retweet of that same Koi Dao thread. Some of the other retweets we saw earlier were not the first tweet in the thread, but like other follow-up posts from Koi. Anything else here? Let's see. Back on March 26th. Oh, this is an interesting one. Wow. So retweeted John Patton-Wad, specifically retweeting Courtney Lynn, who seems to be another VA there with Atlas, who had retweeted John Patton-Wad. This being the statement John Patton-Wad had made, I believe, after Jacob Takanashi's statement as replacing him for the role of Kenichi. Courtney Lynn had said, sending all the support to John. He is a class act and wonderful actor. Actors deserve AI protections. Bro, minutes after reading the Blue Sky post from Little Kribo, who was all like, actors were never saying it was just AI protections. We have a perfect example of how they were framing it as just that.
I'm pretty sure anyone would be able to go even into the past videos and past tweets and do a full video compilation of every single tweet these voice actors did. Not just tweet, Blue Sky post, and Reddit post where they were claiming this is for AI protection. I don't understand what they were thinking. The fact that they're even in the first place doing it so publicly, you kind of have to question their mental state and their, just like in general logical thinking.
We've had so many examples of this, of course, but here's another one.
Imagine doing that with any other job.
Can't. You get fired within the first 2 days.
What perfect timing that is. Oh my gosh, dude. Unbelievable. The best way to support real actors in jobs. Is that like a slight at Jacob Takanashi, by the way, like that framing? The best way to support real actors in jobs. Okay.
Oh, they already took jabs at non-union voice actors that they're not actual voice actors.
Yep.
That non-union voice actors are like low quality, like these peasants.
Okay. is to let the dev companies know, and also don't take actions that would undermine strike efforts. That definitely, in my opinion, seems like a jab at Jacob Takanashi. And also like non-union actors in general, because this has been rhetoric from SAG. Like they literally have a page on their website talking about how the union actors are better than those lowly non-union actors.
Yeah, and they're supposedly also scabs. Non-union voice actors are scabs.
Oh my gosh. Scrolling slightly further, we can see that Crystal Lee had also retweeted this damage control tweet from Ashley Biskey. And I've only scrolled for like seconds, probably less than a minute on each of these 3VA's Twitter accounts, but I think I've seen plenty to, at least in my opinion, come to a reasonable assessment of where they probably stand on all this stuff. Of course, the 3VAs I'm referring to being the ones that seem to be getting replaced on Zenless Zone 0. Now, once again, I'm not saying why they got replaced. I just decided to take a look into some more context on what may be a possible reason, potentially maybe Hoyoverse.
Okay, my actual opinion is I don't think Hoyoverse gives a damn about SAG. I don't think they give a damn about the whole union strike. I don't think they give a damn about the union at all. I think what's happening is they're like, okay, let them get it out of their system. We'll wait for what, 5-6 months. Okay, they're not back. Let's just start replacing them. That's it. I just genuinely also think that Hoyoverse doesn't give a damn. And I'll say the same thing what I said last time we watched this. Imagine the reality where you're the bad guy when you go up against Hoyoverse. You are the bad guy compared to Hoyoverse. That's a yikes, and you should probably think about your action.